Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Global Nurse channel. This is Blessing. Thanks for the likes, thanks for subscribing, and thanks for commenting on all the stories. Today, I have a surprise for you. I have a guest in the house, in person of Gbemmie Ola. I'll allow her to do an introduction by herself. But firstly, let me appreciate you for coming to this YouTube channel to share your story, to inspire someone out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So over to you. Can we meet you, please?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here. My name is Gbemmie Ola. I'm a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, board certified.
Wow, that's good. So my first question to you this morning is, what inspired you to be a nurse? And where did you start your nursing career?
So, my inspiration came from my mom. My mom was an assistant medical laboratory assistant back in secondary school. So meaning she was going to be in the lab with students and assisting the teachers as they are teaching the students and all that. But one thing that she had done while she was growing up was she went to the school of midwifery. I guess back in Lagos, then they allowed them, the Lagos State School of Nursing, they allowed them to do midwifery without having a background in nursing. So she did, but she wasn't working with it. She was just doing the lab thing, being in school. So she was always telling stories of women giving birth and all of that. She painted a beautiful story, but I think the story is not the same when I went into do midwifery. So she painted a beautiful story for us to see how it went, how it was to be in the medical field, what you can do. So that really inspired me. But the inspiration went on ahead for me. My inspiration was to become a medical doctor because mothers would say I wanted to be better than I am. So I took it a notch higher. I wanted to be a medical doctor. But then University of Ibadan, I had the admission, but they had a setback for 1 year because they were not taking students. So they had to move the new students to the next year. And for the kind of person I am, I'm not someone who will sit without doing nothing. So that 1 year was tasking for me. So I had to just go into school of nursing. I was like, okay, it's an option. If I start in the school of nursing, I will start gaining experience and then I will be able to move back, to being a doctor when I wanted to. But by the time I got in, first year, at the end of the first year, I was like, I don't know what's happening on the other side, but here, just let me stay. So that was how I just went into the school of nursing and continued. And in there, I had lecturers that were seasoned. I had a
Okay.
colleague or two that left in between the program to go study medicine, but I didn't leave. I didn't pursue at the end of the day, but I had very awesome lecturers. Shout out to all my lecturers. They were a huge inspiration to me. The School of Nursing, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, my alma mater is still one of the best in Nigeria. I tell you.
Oh,
So that gave me a drive. That gave me something beyond the classroom. I was a class rep for 3 years, but that pushed me beyond the classroom.
all
So
right. So what inspired you to relocate from Nigeria, having a background in nursing? I mean, your nursing education in Nigeria. I know you would have practiced for some years before you relocated to the United States. So, what informed you or what inspired you to travel out of the country, like to continue your career in United States of America?
so I worked in Nigeria in a couple of places. I worked with an optometrist. I worked with a regular medical doctor. Then the major part of where I worked was in psychiatry. That's the psychiatric hospital, Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital back in Nigeria. And one thing that worked with me initially during my training, I never wanted to be a psychiatric nurse. Funny enough, my mom was a midwife, but when I got to midwifery, I never enjoyed it. I was the one that you would not catch me. It wasn't a thing for me. I was like, this is not a place for me. I didn't really like the things that were happening. I didn't like the things that were seen. So I was just like, no, this is not. I wanted to go into medical area, the medical section. I wanted to be an OR nurse, but it was too
Wow.
cold and there was too much standing. So I forgot about that. But then when I went into psychiatry, initially it was like, no, I don't want to do this. I can't be talking to somebody who is not facing reality. But at the end of the day, when I went into it, I took my time and really learned about it, talked to people around there. I found it fascinating. It was something that was different for me. So I worked in psychiatric hospital. I became an assistant chief nursing officer, but I'd served in different aspects. I served in the administration. I served in audit, education. I worked on the unit. I guess something just kept driving me, something that says, nursing can be better than this. Nursing is just not just coming to the hospital, giving medications and all that. There's a clinical aspect to it. There's a research aspect. There's a drive behind just a nurse in white. So that was what it was for me. Then people were traveling a lot. And I also wanted to. Aside from the money aspect, I wanted to because I'd gone around and I'd seen a lot of things, and there's a particular feeling you get when you get to an extent you feel stuck. So that was one thing for me. I got bored. I felt stuck, and I had to just do something.
On now.
Yes. So one of my postings, I met Blessing back in the emergency room. She always had a computer. When we were doing night shifts, she had a computer with her, and she would be working. Then when we do the day shifts together, when I talk to the patients, when I come back to our desk, she would say, all this English that you are speaking, why not just go and do IELTS and just find your way out? And I'll be like, am I sure? And she really gave me a nudge. She really gave me a good nudging. And I went for it. And on my first attempt, I aced it. And then we would come and, go through her NCLEX questions. And she would be like, I don't know what you're still doing here. You didn't even study the materials and we're doing it and you're getting it. What is going on, So that really gave me the courage. And then she also introduced me to O'Grady Payton International. When I did the exam, when I saw the materials and did the exam, it was encouraging for me. Like, okay, this looks like something I will be willing to do. This is a push further from what I have. And I followed the due process. One thing I enjoy is I like to follow due process for a lot of things so that it won't come back to bite you. And I followed the due process and we're here.
Wow, such a beautiful story. Oh, so next to my next question. My next question, can you share a particular challenging or rewarding experience you've had as an immigrant nurse here in the state?
Wow. So I would divide the challenges into kind of three aspects. Personal challenges. There's this kind of cultural shock. When you come in and you're working and there's this racial comments coming up around you. If you are not somebody that is seasoned, if you are not a strong-willed person, you might not be able to cope very well. Because a lot of people believe where you're coming from. A lot of people still focus on Africa as the monkeys and the trees.
Yeah.
But then you are coming in and you are able to handle everything that they handle and even take it up a notch higher. So there's still a culture of disbelief that you are not able to do those things. That's okay, let me say that's a professional aspect, but that can affect you as a person, because if you are constantly in that place and you don't know what you're doing, it could really affect your output as a professional. Then in terms of family, you have to make sure that the family that you have is taken care of, because I came in with kids, I came in with a family, and I want to make sure that my kids are settled. Unfortunately, we came in at the height of the COVID pandemic. So it was really a big deal because my kids went from a place of being in class to always being online. And that means for kids will be, someone has to chaperone them while they are doing that. So it was kind of tough doing that and being able to work at the same time. So I would come from night shift and I would still be up sitting with my kids, having their classes and monitoring them. So then aside from that, the financial aspect of it, yes, they talk about it, it's good and all that, but you have to be able to define what you want. because you don't want one aspect to overshadow another. There should always be a balance. So the challenge I had mostly, I started with night shifts. I'm not a fan of night shifts, so it was a big deal for me. So, and then people would take coffee, and then I would take coffee, and I would not be able to sit down. I would bounce around the unit. I would become restless. By morning, I'm having the jitters and all that. Then the another challenge that I experienced was the charting. It was a big difference because you are coming from all through paper charting, and you are coming into a system where you have all computer charting. Thank God for, yes, electronic charting. Thank God for a background, in having been able to work with computers and all that. So that really helped. And then learning things, learning new things every day in terms of this is what we do. This is not the way we do it here. And then every day, constantly, somebody's going to say, I'm going to sue you. That was really a big deal because back in Nigeria, people don't press charges so much. But here, people have the right to question you, press charges and all that. So you are working with that at the back of your mind, and that can push you to do things. That can push you to do two things, either get better or mess up and make errors and all of that. So that was a big challenge. But the foundation and education and knowledge really helped out in that aspect.
Wow. So you talked about two challenges. Can you tell me one rewarding experience?
Okay, the rewarding experience is a better diversity in nursing. Now, over here in the United States, unlike Nigeria, you have a wide range of diversities in nursing, different capacities of things that you can do. Back in Nigeria, you can't really do remote nursing. You don't have a lot of things, resources in place to help you with that. So the diversity in nursing mean I can work at home this week and decide to work outside next week, or I decide all my working is going to be.
And there are lots of specialty that you can do.
Yes. So
not
different
just
things
the bedside thing. Yeah.
Yes, different things that you can do, and it opens your idea into what you actually want to do. So you can be a nurse and be an entrepreneur. You can be a nurse, and then the educational aspect of it. You don't have to go sit in the classroom to improve yourself, to improve on what you have. Because I know back then, when I did my degree, I was going to Babcock University, and Babcock University is another state entirely. And I would stay there the whole day and then come back to my family. And it was a lot of going back and forth. But here I can sit down from the comfort of my home, attend my classes, do anything, and it doesn't encroach on my work time. So that really was a foundation for me. Then another aspect of that education is customer service, which is something really different. Clinical service, customer service. So over there, we don't do so much research on the things that we do, the impact on the patient. Because if we don't do that, we will not be able to review if we're doing it right or not. So it's just like doing the same thing over and over again. But over here, there's a lot of things going on, innovations. When they find something new, you want to bring it into practice, review it, and build on it. So for me, that was something that I loved, and I wanted to see play out, and I was able to work with that.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, so that will take us to your professional growth. You've grown a great deal. Like I know on your floor where you did your contracts, you grew to become an assistant manager, if I'm right.
Yes.
And now you are now a nurse practitioner, certified nurse practitioner in the United States.
Yes.
So how did you get there?
Okay. So, like I was saying earlier, that I had this thing for knowledge. I had this thing, the passion, to do more. So what I did was every time I come in, I wanted to know what my environment was. I would spend time with my patients, talk to my patient. I enjoyed reading, enjoyed understanding because of my background and all. So when I go to my patients, I do my utmost best. I don't skip things. I'm detailed in my notes and all that, because one thing we forget is people watch you. In as much as you watch your patients obtrusively, unobtrusively, people watch you. People see what you do. They see the capacity. They see your problem-solving skills, your clinical presentations, and all of that. When they ask for ideas, they want to see what you have based on what you do. And funny enough, the hospitals we have here, there's camera all over. So if anything happens, the risk team is going to look at the situation from the beginning to the end, and everybody's intervention and your documentation and your presentation of what the problem is. So I guess when I saw that the opportunity was open, I asked, what does it take? When I asked some of my colleagues what it took, they would laugh at, it's not something that you can do. Don't let people tell you can't do anything. If anything is stopping you, it's you. So from then on, my boss called me and was like, I want you to take this position. And I was like, why? He said, I see you. I see what you do. And I would love this. I know when you come in, I would be able to benefit from it. The hospital will benefit. When I went for my interview, he wasn't there. There were other people there, and they were like, oh, it's you? Oh, we're done with this interview. Let's just have a chat. So we didn't really do an interview. We just had a chat because of what I had been able to do. And I was a charge nurse for a while. So that really gave them an insight of how I was going to be able to manage. And then I went into being an assistant nurse manager. I worked directly with my boss. Part of my work was to be a liaison officer between the main hospital and the psychiatric hospital, to be a bridge. And then one of the projects I took on was to get a psychiatric unit started in the hospital. It was a hospital, the ED, they had units and all that. The psychiatric facility was an annex, but they wanted a place where they would be able to have psychiatric, like a psychiatric placement in the ED that will be able to accommodate everything that we are able to do.
Like psych ED.
Yes, to provide an emergency. So that was one of the major projects that I was able to embark on, and we started that, and it's still up and running up until today.
Wow.
And then while I was in school, while I was there, I was opportune to see what psychiatric nurse practitioners do. And the yearning in me was like, okay, we're moving. And I just decided to go for my master's. And it was tough. Yes, it's going to be tough. Those things are going to drive you. But you start taking it one day at a time. Don't overthink things. Just keep moving. And that was what I did. Taking it one day at a time, and going all the way. There was even one of the times where my posting was about 2 hours away from home. So I had to drive 2 hours there and 2 hours back, and I still had to make it. But the most important driving force was what you want to add. What do you want to get out of this? Are you okay with where you are? You have to keep asking your question every day. Am I okay here? If I'm not okay here, what is the next step? So, and then just like that, it finished. The program finished. I had 6 months setback. I had personal issues and all of those things. I didn't get a place to do my posting, but at the end of the day, it all played out good. So,
wow, your story inspired me. And I know this story is inspiring somebody there. Don't forget to share with your friends. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button. So lastly, I'll be asking you to give her advice. Firstly, to nurses in Africa that are still thinking, does it really worth it? Then secondly, for we immigrant nurses already in the Western world that have this fear of going into leadership, this fear of forging ahead, thinking, oh, I'm disadvantaged. Because here you are, in 5 years in the United States, you've been able to become an assistant manager, you've been able to become a psychiatric nurse practitioner, certified, and practicing. Yeah, so I think your story will resonate better because you've been there. So can you please, firstly, to advise those people back home, and secondly, to advise those people that are being fearful of forging ahead? Thank you.
So I would say to anybody in Africa, if you can do it, go for it. We have different things that push us into different things. Maybe the monetary aspect, the fame aspect, the aspect of I live abroad and all of that. So whatever drives you, keep at it. But I would tell you 110% for me, it was worth it. It was worth it. It's worth it in the sense that I'm not there yet. For me, this is not my bus stop. I'm still, there's still a whole road ahead of me. So I would say if you feel that there's still a whole road ahead of you, go for it. Yes, there are restrictions here and there or based off of what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Find so many things. There's still opportunities worldwide, not only in the United States, in Australia, different things. So it's not like you don't want people that will not be back home as nurses. There will always be people back home as nurses. But if you are that person that you feel there's still something you are yearning for and you want that opportunity, please go ahead and go for it. But do the work, put in the work. But one thing I want to say is before you embark on this journey, be a seasoned nurse. If you want to be a nurse, then be a nurse, because you are looking beyond what you go to do every day. It's either you make or mar. When you're taking care of people, it goes beyond you. It's an opportunity for you to take care of others. We need to be able as nurses to see beyond the monetary aspect. What you go out to do every day is a seed of kindness. And the seed of kindness means that you are well equipped, knowledgeable. I used to say something back home when I was working with people, younger colleagues, and I would say, if you read something 10 minutes every day, you add value to yourself. Just scroll on your phone. Maybe you are in the bus or something. Read something 10 minutes every day. By the end of a week, you would have spent like an hour equipping yourself. And that is going to play out one day, because if you don't find it to use in your current place, it's going to wait for you in future to be able to use it. And that sorts you out from the rest. So before you come over here, sort yourself out from the rest. What are you coming to give? Are you coming to give routine? Because it plays out. People will see it. And that defines how they define you. So in Africa, if you are in Africa and you feel you've got what it takes, go for it. Go for it. And I will say again, go for it. And for people over here, I want us to have something in mind is choices. You have so many things, so many strings pulling at you, personal strings, professional strings, social strings, and all of that. You have to define what you want and how you want to do it. Because if you don't have a definition, you are so common. You are so common. What I mean is there are different aspects of things. You have growing children, and then you don't look into your children and you keep working. Yes, you will make the money, but then you will pay Trump back part of the money as tax, and then you would invest so much in something that you don't end up enjoying. And your primary things are suffering. Things like your kids, your life, your health is suffering. You're as good as what you carry. If your health is not good, you cannot work. Or even if you work now, by the time you get older, it starts telling on you. We don't want to be like that. So work, but work with a balance. If you need to go do your yearly checkups. Go for a psychological workup. Go for a retreat. Take some time off of work. Invest into yourself. Build yourself. Because when you take time to do all those things, you have clarity. Life goes beyond just showing up at work every day. If you want to be an entrepreneur, go into it. But don't stop smiling every day. And that depends on what you do. What you do determines the extent of your smile. If you keep growing every day, you benefit from it. But if you are stuck, you also benefit from it negatively. So do you.
Thank you.
All the time.
Thank you. So thank you for coming, and there must be a need to call you next time. I hope you are going to accept our invitation.
I would love to, anytime.
Thank you. So we are going to stop here for now. Do you have any word for my audience? Encourage
thank
them
you so much. Thank you. I think I spoke too much, but thank you so much, for thank you so much for supporting this platform, because this platform, I believe, is going to go worldwide. Why? Is because it's telling our stories. It's telling our stories, our background, showcasing us from where we're from. So the light is going to be off of, we're still the monkey hopping nurses, to show that we have a background, we have a foundation, and we have a journey, and our journey is unique. Now, our faces are different, our journeys are different. Everybody has a story to tell, and this brings to light to the world what our stories are, where we are, why we are here. A lot of people would believe, oh, we're just here to take the jobs. No. Yes, we are here because we're professionals. We are here because we do what we do and we are best at what we do. That tells our story to the world. And I appreciate everybody for supporting this platform. And I appreciate Blessing for this idea. It's a beautiful idea. And I look forward to the growth of this idea. I want to encourage everybody to support it, because she's not talking about her stories alone. She's talking about your story, my story. So I really encourage everybody to be a part of it. Give it your best. Give the likes. Give the comments. Be the one supporting our own. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now.
Bye.